Hello, welcome back. I'm Shu Fang. This is the last lesson of week 12. During this lesson, we are going to continue with the key points of week 12, the writing of an argumentative essay. First, we shall summarize the different types of argumentative essay. Then we will consider how to write problem-solving essays. And finally, we will learn useful transitional expressions to achieve coherence in argumentative essays. Generally speaking, commonly existing argumentative essays can be divided into three different types. First is the argumentative essay, which tries to expose controversial attitudes or the pros and cons of a certain thing or issue. Next is the topic analytical essay, in which the author tries to analyze a certain problem in its various aspects. The third type is the problem-solving essay, which tries to find solutions to certain problems. As in Lesson 3 of this week's instruction, we discussed the suggested outline of the first two essay types. Here, we would like to focus on writing the problem-solving essay. Let's begin with the suggested outline of a problem-solving essay. In the introductory part, the author tries to grab the reader's attention by introducing the context of the issue. He then presents his thesis statement with the proposed solution. The paragraphs of the main body of the argument can be divided into three segments. The first segment deals with the analysis of the problem, considering the causes and effects of the problem. The second segment deals with the solution of the problem. First, it tries to propose a solution that addresses the problem. Second, it discusses why this solution is an ideal, or at least plausible solution. The author then tries to figure out how that action or set of actions can be implemented. A third segment of the body of the argument can be optional. It deals with counterarguments and concessions, trying to address concerns about or opposing claims for the solution and acknowledging the shortcomings of that solution. In the conclusion part, the author restates the significance of the problem and reminds the reader of the benefits found in his solution. Finally, actions are called for regarding the implementation of the solution. Now let's look at the directions for a sample essay, which can illustrate the suggested outline for the problem-solving essay, which we have just introduced. According to the directions, the writer is supposed to compose an essay concerning the problems accompanied by the use of Internet, and then put forward solutions to these problems. Here is a revised essay from an online article. Please read it carefully and pay attention to the words in different colors, which indicate different parts of the essay. Let's look at the outline of this essay in detail. In the introductory part, the author describes the context of the topic. The widespread use of Internet has changed people's way of dealing with information. Then the author puts forth his thesis statement. Though this phenomenon has caused serious problems, solutions can also be found. In the second and third paragraphs, the author tries to analyze the two existing serious problems and provides feasible solutions found in the efforts of three different parties. Finally, in the conclusion part, the author restates his thesis statement by conforming the solution to the problems. By structuring problem-solving essay in this way, the author can cater to the reader's logical thinking process. There are several types of transitional devices, and each category leads the readers to make certain connections or assumptions about the areas being connected. Here is a list of some common transitional devices that can be used to cue our readers in a certain way. In this slide, we can get some useful expressions to indicate how to continue, how to compare, and how to prove. For instance, if we want to continue our discussion, we may use transitional words such as moreover or in addition, and so on. If we want to compare two objects, we may use phrases such as by comparison or conversely, and so on. If evidence is needed, we can use signal words such as for the same reason or in the case of, and so on. In this slide, there are more expressions to show exception and time. For instance, we can use despite or nevertheless to indicate the existence of exceptions. If we want to indicate time, we can use phrases such as previously or next. Meanwhile, if we need to repeat or to emphasize prior concepts, we can use phrases such as in brief or without doubt, and so on. From this slide, we can get some useful expressions to show sequence, to give examples and to summarize or conclude. Novice writers may find it very difficult to use these transitional devices, but constant practice will lead them to proficiency. Okay, now we have talked so much about argumentative essays. Before we finish this week's learning, let's sum up what we have learned. First, we have gotten an overview of argumentation, and we have learned the features of good argumentation. We then learned the various methods to present argument. After that, we analyzed the organization of argumentative essays. We have finished week 12's learning with an analysis of transitional expressions in argumentative essays. All these items will be helpful as you write your own argumentative essays. No argument about that. That's all for this week's learning. Thank you for listening.